It's your friendly neighborhood Coach Ty here, and I've had some requests for taking you along with things that I'm doing. I'm not sure why. You want to hang out with me a little bit, see what I'm up to. I thought a good way to start this out would be to bring you with me on a practice. I'm a discus thrower, for those of you that didn't know that, kind of behind the scenes. Obviously, I'm a coach teaching jumping, and that's my background, but I popped into the sport of discus as a mature athlete, and now I train for it. So I'm at the park. I'm here. I don't know if you can see that, but this is the park. Sitting in my car, and we'll grab the discs, we'll grab our water, we'll grab my AirPods, bump some tunes, and we'll get after a practice. I am still relatively new to this, so I'm not very good. And it's nice and humbling, and I'm learning, and I'm in my off season just lifting, getting strong, and I haven't thrown in a few weeks. So let's see what it's all about. All right, it's windy today, so I apologize if it's hard to hear me, but we got the little dead cat up there doing its job. This is a big park by my place that has obviously just a lot of space, and the big thing is I don't have a circle or a ring to throw out of, so I throw off this sidewalk here. This is my home base with the benches. It's just what I do when I'm out, so try not to hold me down. All right, so what we'll start off with is I'll run the tape measure out. We'll get kind of that sorted out. I like to make sure that I have some marks just so I can judge how the practice is going. We'll get a little bit warm. We'll do some picking. So what we're just gonna kind of do is just kind of toss the disc nice and easy just to warm up the shoulders, warm up the hips. And we'll come back, we'll lace up, we'll get the shoes on, we'll go through some stand throw progressions, some half turns, we'll get into some full throw. I'm just gonna feel it out, see how my body feels. Haven't done it in a while, so I have no idea. But it's beautiful out today. I'm gonna skip my breaks. I'm gonna make mistakes. I'm gonna skip my breaks. I'm gonna make mistakes. I'm gonna skip my breaks. I'm gonna make mistakes. I'm gonna skip my breaks. I'm gonna make mistakes. Try not to hold me down. Feel alive when I'm in this. So if you don't know much about discus, don't worry, because I'm still learning as well, but some kind of pointers for those that are brand new to this world, things to remember. Like, I'm thinking about when I'm actually training, but what we're looking to do is kind of create smooth orbit. We're trying to disturb the discus kind of as little as possible. Same with jumping, right? I think that's what I like about it so much. It's very similar in the technicality required and the mindfulness element as well. But the disc kind of rests in your hand as such. Your fingertips are over the edge. And when you release it, it actually releases out the front of your hand and not out the back like a frisbee. And that's the hardest part. When somebody picks the disc up for the first time, kind of turns into like a frisbee toss. That sun is some real deal right now, so I apologize if I'm squinting, but it's very, very bright. All right, so I will put on my throwing shoes, and I will show you all about my throwing shoes right now. So throwing shoes are very flat bottomed, very smooth, so that you can spin, because there's lots of spinning involved. And I kind of like these. There's 6 shoes. And the discus, so this is one of I have 4 discs. This is a practice disc, but it's 2 kilograms. So it's like 4.4 pounds. And it's heavy. I'm a small discus thrower. Discus throwers by kind of design are long, large, and I'm about 6'1", 215 right now, so I'm growing. I'm putting some mass on, but the guys I compete against are very large men. My coach, Jason, is a 3-time Olympian. It's like a 20-time national Canadian record holder, or Canadian champ with multiple records, and he's like 6'6", 6'7", and in his prime was pushing 3 bills, so big boy. So I've been training, I've been lifting for probably the last 6-8 weeks now. Primarily haven't been throwing much. After my last meet, haven't really had much opportunity to throw. So I feel very clunky. I feel just very heavy and not super athletic right now. And that's one of the things with disc is you need reps, you need to throw in order to throw well. So just trying to get out and move different, rotate, see how it feels. And I'm just glad to be out here. That throw was probably 5 meters further than all my other ones. All right, let me be honest with you. So I was in the middle of practice, and I mentioned that I hadn't been throwing much, and I started throwing, and it just didn't feel good. And as I kept going and going and going, I just realized that this is kind of hard. This is kind of hard to come clean about, and because I think a lot of you know me as the confident, really put together coach who preaches, obviously, valuing the process of being an athlete and patience and all of the very important factors to keep in mind. But I had a moment in practice where I got down on myself like really, really hard. And I think it's that, I've really been putting in a lot of effort over the last 6 to 8 weeks and building my strength and feeling good and staying consistent. And I know, like, I have this understanding that it doesn't mean that I'm all of a sudden going to be a better thrower. I haven't been throwing, for God's sakes. Like, I haven't been prioritizing technique and getting reps in, and I just felt awful. I felt so bad, and I started feeling down on myself. And it kind of brought me back to my kind of peak athletic times. And I've been pretty transparent about this through social media. Those of you that follow us on Project Pure Athlete might know that I'm quite an anxious athlete. I'm an anxious person. I'm an anxious person in general. I have, battled with and learned to live with anxiety at some decent levels for the vast majority of my life. And it's really been kind of this last portion of my life that I'm starting to get more of a handle on it. But yeah, I just kind of stopped in the middle of practicing and packed everything up and left. And I was gonna not post this. I was gonna throw all the content out, I was gonna throw all the video out, because I'm like, I didn't even really, it's not great content, no one's gonna wanna watch me, no one's gonna, it's not gonna be good enough, and the whole talk, right? I think we have this with ourselves all the time. And if you're an anxious athlete, if you're someone that battles with this, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. I think I felt a responsibility to post this in lieu of the fact that I don't feel good. Because I think it's important to understand that perfection is not something that is realistic to be chasing all the time. I think it's stuff like this. I think it's YouTube and Instagram and all these immediate kind of instant gratification platforms that really, I know they put a lot of excess pressure, or I think, create the environment in which you put extra pressure on yourselves to represent yourself a certain way to people, that at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. And I want all of you to be obviously inspired by what I'm doing and what we're doing here at Project Pure Athlete, but I can't expect to be perfect myself and then turn around and ask you all to not expect that of yourself, and keep things in perspective and everything that I talk about. So it's a very real life example of something real as an athlete, which is that constant struggle with wanting to push forward, wanting to make change, wanting to make gains, and then kind of being hit with the reality of it really does take time. And I don't know. I think I put my expectations really high for the day and expected to all of a sudden be throwing better for some reason, because I feel so much stronger. I've put on some good mass. My lifts and my strength numbers have went up, but I haven't been working on my technique. And I don't care what sport you're in, if you're not prioritizing your technique, you're not going to be able to translate all those gains. Not the way you should anyway. So I don't know what I think I'm just venting to you and just being open and honest, because I'm hoping that someone watching this, or somebody that is pursuing something and trying to be great and trying to be a better version of themselves, is able to let themselves off the hook for having days that feel like this, or situations that arise that are like this. And I don't want your sympathy. I don't want anything like that. I think it's just, I feel an obligation to share this with you. This is something that I'm personally going through, and I'll be fine. I'll be 100% fine in a few minutes from now when I'm able to decompress. But I wanted you to have me fresh. I literally just walked in the door. It was like right around the corner, so it's only been about 25 minutes since I wrapped things up. And I'm already starting to feel better. I think talking is also making it feel better. So I'm not sure what anybody will get out of this video, I'll be perfectly honest with you. But if you enjoy yourself here, make sure you check out some of the other content we have to offer at Project Pure Athlete, along with, obviously, this was a video about me and my day or non-day of training with discus, but we have tons of great training videos, a lot of great content on vertical jump technique. There's breakdowns, there's analysis, there's reactions. There's a little bit of something for everybody, and I guess we'll catch you in the next one. Hey, thank you for listening. It means a lot.